everyone. This is a recap of the trades that I took this week. I took 3 trades. I took CADJPY EURUSD. Yeah, I took 2 on CADJPY and 1 on EURUSD. And I also had an opportunity on AUD CAD, but for me, my entry conditions, the structure was good, but my entry conditions were not met. So I'll take you through the ones that I took here. So for CADJPY, this is where the week started. Started here on Monday, and from this you can see that it has been an uptrend because this was high, this was a low, this was a high, this was a low, and for the previous week we were buying and then we had a retest. So on Friday we closed with a retest. So the trend is bullish, but we have a retest. So this is a good opportunity to enter. Normally when we have retest, I always prefer for you to come down to the order block, and I also was kind of concerned with this because there was this minor resistance, because the first time we tried to break it, we couldn't. The second time we tried, we couldn't, and then it rejected here. But on Monday, H4 had a shift of structure, and also there was a lot of room between the entry here, between the shift here and those highs here. So this was a good opportunity to secure the trade. There was enough room to secure the trade in case it would come here and reject it and move my trade to break even. So on Monday, after having the retest, like I said, I always like, if it can't reach all the way down here, I always like for it to be tested twice. But this entry looked so good, I couldn't resist. So on Friday we had a clean pullback in H4, and then we had this small high and this small low. Then we had this big breakout, and this indicating that the buyers are strong. And then we had this weak sellers indicating that the sellers are getting weak. So after here, just go down to H1 time frame and I look for a shift, and this is where I took my first trade. After now, because here, like, the most dominant one was sell, and obviously the lower time frame structure was selling. So now it has to change from selling to being bullish. I have 2 conditions for that. I have break of structure or double bottom and neckline retest. So this one gave us a BOS. So this was showing us that we're shifting from that temporary sell, and now we're getting bullish. So this is where I took my first entry here, and then I like to put my stop loss below the structure. So now this one H4, the structure has changed. So this is the new low and this is the new high. So I put it below here, and for my take profit, I put it here. Why did I put it there? I put it there because this is the next high, and I like to be modest, so I don't like to target all the way up there. I like to time the neckline, because if you see that high, there's a possibility that it's a neckline in H4, so I like to target there. Also, when you're looking at areas of value like this one, you can see this is a place that has acted like a strong resistance. So that was my healthy exit point. Yeah, you see this is a place where it has acted as support and resistance. So this was a reasonable place to put my take profit. And then, like I said, I like, if it can't get all the way down here, I like for it to get tested again. So this one came back and got tested again. You can see tested go down to H4 time frame. Like I said, now I'm saying like I said a lot, but there are two types of reversals or continuations. For me, like I have break of structure, like this one is a break of structure, or a double top, double bottom, or double top neckline retest. So this one had a double retest like this, and then we had this neckline. So this is a W. Sell, buy, didn't, like that, and then this one is coming to test this one. So as this one closed, went down to H1 again, took my entry after shifts here. So this was my second entry there. So my first trade was already at break even, and this was my next one. This one had a big, like, it had a big, it had a big, what you call it, stop loss, but I just tried to, this was like a liquidity grab, so, and also like this is the new high, this is the new low, so this was just kind of, an invisible attack by the whales. So and then I took my take profit there. So these are my two trades from CADJPY. The next one is USD. Oh, USD is a counter trend trade because this was an uptrend. This is at high, this is a low. We broke a new high, and it's supposed to come all the way down here. So the same principle, like if it wanted to create a new support, it would have maybe made this one give us strong buyers and then came back and tested it to give us to make the new support. But it kept supporting the downward move, and also the H4 time frame kept forming new lows and new highs. So it's showing us that it still wants to keep going down. So how did I take this trade? So we had like the first bearishness, and we had this retest. The week started here. So the only thing is just to look for continuation. And remember, we have two types of continuations. We have double top neckline retest or BOS. But for the double top or double bottom neckline retest, always look at if the back was clean or not. For this one, it was clean because there was we didn't break any structures, we didn't form any structures. It was just strongly bullish. So whenever it forms like a strong, clean pullback, I don't need to wait for neckline retests and all that. Just having like the double top. The point is not to enter at this point. The point is not to enter at this point. So you wait for the M to complete, you wait for the W to complete, and then once the W has completed or the M has completed, you wait for the breakout. And then if now from here I go down to the H1, and then I wait for, I test, I let the market, I let the opposites, like in this case, I wait for the buyers, I give the buyers a chance to defend themselves. So here you can see that we had this bullish candle, and then we had this strong bearish candle. So if the buyers wanted to continue going up, they would have continued going up, but instead they got defeated here. They were not even strong enough to give us a neckline retest. So after that, I took my entry here, took the entry there, put my stop loss above the highs, above the double top highs, and for take profit, I usually use this. This was a strong support, as you can see, like here, it's a strong support. So, and because there isn't like as a neckline where I can put it, I just opted to put at the highest point of this bar here. So at the highest point of this bar, so I took my trade there. Let me put it this